Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. My name is Jack and this is your latest Manchester United news as we hear reports suggesting that Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to be part of Erik ten Hag's backroom team. And look, what do we think about it? I think it's good news, and we'll get into the reasons why in a few minutes. But we've got loads to talk about over the next half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, guys. We've got updates on Manchester United's pursuit of a new centre-back, aka Brantwaite and Lenny Yoro. We've also got some interesting news in relation to a striker and who we may and may not be linked with. Obviously, we know the reports around Xerxes at the moment, but we've got some interesting reports coming out on alternatives, so we'll speak about that as well. Shola Tire looks like he could potentially be leaving United. He's out of contract in the summer, and United do have a new deal on the table for him, but it doesn't look like he's going to take it. We'll talk about that as well. A small updates on Mason Greenwood as well, guys. Obviously, we're looking at offloading him. Italy, it seems like, is going to be the location he's going to end up in, considering the amount of interest that's coming from there. But we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. As always, guys, please do smash a like on the video. Hit subscribe if you are new to the channel as well. Like I said, we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, about less than 60 away now, which is great. So please do smash that like button and get your comments in to the comment section as always. But look, guys, we're going to start with, obviously, the news coming out today around the backroom team shuffle at Manchester United, and it's around this guy. Let me just clear that off the screen. It's in relation to Ruud van Nistelrooy, coming from Fabrizio Romano. It was initially reported from a Dutch outlet, and one of the United fan channels on Twitter reposted it, as they do with a lot of content, a lot of news, and Fabrizio Romano kind of put his name to the Twitter thread, which kind of legitimized everything that was going on. And he says himself then in a post, Fabrizio Romano, that Ruud van Nistelrooy is tempted by Man United as they want him to be part of Erik ten Hag's new staff. Talks are taking place, waiting for final green light, while negotiations over a new deal for Erik ten Hag advance well. Exclusive story confirmed. So look, I mean, what do we think about this? Ruud van Nistelrooy to Manchester United again, this time as a coach, is exciting news. It is, because Ruud van Nistelrooy is up there with one of the greatest strikers that has ever played at Manchester United. And I think if we're talking about, let's talk about the role potentially that he may have coming into the club. It's quite clear it's probably going to be a striker role, a forwards coach, given the fact that Benny McCarthy's contract is up this summer. Now, there are other reports suggesting, and one's coming out in the last, maybe 20 minutes or so. It's coming out of, let me see what the report is. It's from the Times. It's Charlotte Dunker in the Times. She's saying Erik ten Hag's new contract at Manchester United could include the promise of a new coach, with the possibility of Ruud van Nistelrooy joining. There was reports earlier today suggesting that Mitchell van der Gaag's contract will not be renewed. His contract is actually up this summer, which is quite strange, to be quite honest with you. I don't understand why an assistant manager would have a separate contract length to the manager himself when, they've been a team, they've been, at different clubs together. So it's quite strange in that sense. I don't see why Erik ten Hag would potentially like Mitchell van der Gaag to leave, whether there's pressure coming from above, from Ineos or whoever the case may be about van der Gaag and whether he should be there or not. I'm not too sure. I would be under the impression that, Erik ten Hag would be the type of man that would say, well, if you don't keep on the backroom staff that I want and that I've been working with for years, then, I'm going to leave as well. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen. So, whether Mitchell van der Gaag leaves or not, that remains to be seen. We know Benny McCarthy's contract is up, like we said. And there has been reports suggesting that he could potentially be in line for a first-team job in the MLS. So, Ruud van Nistelrooy would be an absolutely fantastic replacement. Now, look, Benny McCarthy has done some great work at United. Obviously, his first season there, he got Marcus Rashford scoring 30 goals. Now, can you blame him for how Marcus Rashford played last season? I don't know. But he's clearly been doing some good work there. I suppose the positives around Van Nistelrooy coming to Manchester United are you know, starting to stack up, in my opinion. I mean, first and foremost, he's a club legend, you know, and is he a club legend? People will debate that, but he's up there with some of the greatest players that have ever played for United, specifically strikers. Probably the most clinical striker we've ever had at the club. And he's an up-and-coming coach as well, and he's hungry. Now, I'm quite surprised to hear this initially, you know, because only a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Van Nistelrooy potentially being linked with the first team job at some Premier League teams, some of the lower Premier League teams. I think, was he linked with Leicester for a short time as well? Maybe Burnley as well. I think his name was in the hat there. So for the fact that he's gone from being linked with a first team job to be part of a backroom team and assistant manager surprised me at the start. But look, you only need to look at the history of Van Nistelrooy and Manchester United to understand maybe why he wants to be back. And look, there's a vacant role there that needs filling, and he would get an awful lot of good experience coming in working under Erik ten Hag. Obviously, you know, they're both Dutch, similar styles of football. Van Nistelrooy played, you know, similar styles at Feyenoord that Erik ten Hag did at Ajax. So I think, you know, they match each other that way. And I think it's a smart move out of Ineos more than anything else. You know, what's a great way of getting fans on side? Bring back a fan favourite. Now, we're not talking about bringing back fucking David Beckham, who's never coached anyone in his life. You know, we're talking about bringing back a former player who's heavily involved in, you know, the footballing world within Europe, who's, you know, has all his coaching badges done, who's gained some very, you know, legitimate experience over at Feyenoord in the Eredivisie, and it's just looking to continue to learn, you know, and he wants to do that at Manchester United, the club that he was at and made his name with. So I think it's a win-win, and I think it's a really smart move out of Ineos. We're starting to see the style of Ineos and what they want out of ownership of Manchester United, and bringing in somebody like Ruud van Nistelrooy you cannot lose points with the fans, you know. Now, I'm sure they've done their due diligence with the likes of Wilcox and Barada, whoever it is that's making this decision, Erik ten Hag as well. You know, you're not just going out and hiring an ex-player because you want, you know, some brownie points with the fans. They want the proper people in, and hungry people. Now, I think what we're seeing with this appointment is very similar to what we're seeing with how we want to conduct ourselves in the transfer market. You're going out in the transfer market, and this goes all the way back to the likes of Ralph Rangnick, for example, who said, your best bet is to get somebody on their first or second contract who's hungry, who wants to improve, who wants to learn, who wants to make a name for themselves and progress within the game. Now, that's on a player standpoint. Van Nistelrooy is on the coaching side of that, but falls into the same category, in my opinion. You know, he's hungry. He wants to improve. He wants to win. He eventually wants to be, you know, the manager of a top club. And I think that's quite clear to see. You know, we've seen him speak on, he was on the overlap with Gary Neville. I think it was quite clear to see the passion and the hunger and the desire that he has, you know, for being a coach. And that's why I found it quite surprising, you know, that he was going to be coming in with Erik ten Hag as part of the coaching team. You know, after we've seen him being linked with numerous clubs. So look, I mean, it's positive news. I think it's really good news when you're looking at the young players that we've got at that club, especially the likes of Rasmus Højlund. If you're going to be bringing in a Xerxes for Bologna, you know, and is this a way of getting Marcus Rashford out of his slump? You know, having an iconic player like Ruud van Nistelrooy, who was one of the greatest goal scorers we've ever had, you know, that can only be a positive for the likes of Rashford, for the likes of Højlund, for the likes of Garnacho in terms of finishing, you know, because we've said this before about Garnacho, a very good moments player at the moment, but consistency-wise, you know, hasn't put it all together yet, and that's understandable. He is young. You're getting someone like Ruud van Nistelrooy coming in and coaching you on how to score goals and how to finish and do it on a consistent basis. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. I mean, Ruud van Nistelrooy, I don't know how many goals he scored, but he only scored one outside the box. The rest are all, you know, poachers finishing. So Look, I think it's good. Let's see what you guys think in the comment section here, and we'll go down through them. Brian is in, Oshin is there, Ben is there. Oshin says, Ruud is tempted, but will have a release clause in his contract if a big team comes up. Sorry, Burnley. Yeah, maybe so. I think you would be smart to do that. Brian says, this would be an amazing signing. Not the first time we signed a Dutch striker and won the league. 21 is coming. I love the positivity, Brian. I absolutely love the positivity. Let's keep that up throughout pre-season. Oshin says, Rasmus will be deadly under Ruud. Natural talent, big. Thought RVN's killer instincts would be a delight to watch. Absolutely. Ben says, Ruud would be great for us as a coach. Danny says, it would be great to see Ruud back at the club. He's a United legend and one of the greats who better to learn off of than the master himself. This would be great for Highland. Ruud van Nistelrooy is a club great, but not quite a legend. Legendary goal scorer. I agree with you on that one, Oshin. I agree with you on that one. I love Ruud van Nistelrooy, but legend, I don't even put Cristiano Ronaldo in as a club legend. So, yeah, I do agree with you on that one. But yeah, I mean, get your thoughts in. If you disagree in the chat, let me know. Brian says, get Big Yap in too as part of the staff and we'll go full Dutch. Absolutely. Full Dutch. Double Dutch, triple Dutch. He's currently coaching his hometown club, 7th tier of the Dutch league. Oshin says, at the moment, a rocket up his hole couldn't get Rashford out of his slump. Well, look, I mean, I'm going to, hold judgment on Rashford. He had a very bad season. Let's see how we get on in pre-season with him. He's got a summer off now, without any international football to recuperate, to recover, to get his head straight. Hit pre-season, viciously, and let's hope he'll have a good season next year because he will be staying at United. Ruud could make Rasmus a monster, says Dylan. There we go. He also says, Ineos now have the full backing of me. Well, there you go, and that's exactly what I said, Dylan. Bringing Ruud van Nistelrooy to Manchester United is a win-win situation for Ineos. He's, one of the greatest goal scorers we've ever had. He's a young, hungry coach who wants to learn and wants to improve in the game. Could you get a better finisher to be teaching the likes of Rasmus Højlund, even Marcus Rashford, whatever other strikers we bring in? And you will never lose brownie points with the fans if you're Ineos by bringing someone like Ruud van Nistelrooy to the club. So it's a win-win, and I'm happy with it. I really am. Let's see. Anyone else? What have we got? We're going to move it on. And we'll talk a little bit about the centre-back area. So going from top to bottom. Dylan has one more comment in there. He says, to be honest, though Ruud might not be here long if teams are linked to him like Burnley. Well, look, I mean, he's obviously weighing up his options here. And he's saying to himself, look, what can I achieve at Burnley or what can I learn at Manchester United and what is going to benefit me more in the long term as a coach, and like I said previously, getting a young, hungry coach in who's wanting to learn, who's only, had maybe 1 or 2 jobs and is still hungry, like your players that are on their first and second contracts, that want to improve. This is a good move. And, he may not be there long, but I mean, if he can turn Rasmus Højlund from a 16 goal a season striker to a 30 goal a season striker consistently over a year or two before he leaves for a big job, then brilliant. He's done it. You know what I mean? Who knows? He might be the, successor to Erik ten Hag if things go well. We don't know how things will go. I hope Erik ten Hag is here for a long, long time. You all know that. But it opens up doors and it's options and it's a different narrative. So happy days. Let me take a drink of water, guys. I have a bit of a dose coming on me after all the Guinness over the weekend. And screaming and shouting at a Pink concert. So raise your glass if you are wrong in all the right ways. I was surprised how many songs I actually knew. But anyway, back to more important stuff. Manchester United. I want to move it on, guys, and talk about centre-backs, okay? And did you get a dose off of Pink? I got pink off of pink. That was terrible, and I wish I didn't say it. But anyway, let's move it on to centre-backs. And let's talk about United's pursuit of a number of different centre-backs here. We're going to start with Jarrad Branthwaite. Obviously, Manchester United are, heavily linked with him and are, I wouldn't say desperate to sign him, but have showed some real intent on wanting to go out and sign Jarrad Branthwaite. Now, this report here says Newcastle have reportedly pulled out of the race to sign Everton striker Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which could benefit Manchester United in their ongoing Jarrad Branthwaite pursuit. It has been suggested that Newcastle's attempt to sign the English striker could blow any chance of United signing Branthwaite, despite personal terms already being agreed upon with the player. Everton are trying to work within the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules, having been docked points for not doing so last season. They know a repeat of that could see them fall into another relegation scrap. According to Sky Sports News, Newcastle have been in talks with Calvert-Lewin, but a 40 million deal has been proved too costly. Clubs like Everton are keeping an eye on the June 30th as the unofficial deadline, with money earned before that date taking into account when the Premier League assesses whether they have stayed within the PSR boundaries. Profit and sustainability boundaries is what that is. With United hopeful that Everton will drop their 70 million demands for Branthwaite, Newcastle's pursuit of Calvert-Lewin meant the Toffees had another way to generate money. Okay, so basically, Manchester United are hoping that the Newcastle and Calvert-Lewin deal collapses, which means Everton will be desperate for money, and it will mean that they could potentially lower the asking price for Jarrad Branthwaite from the 70 million that they're asking. Now look, we've spoken about this on numerous occasions. 70 million is ludicrous for Jarrad Branthwaite. 50 max for me. I would say 40. Generally you get some add-ons. You would say 40 and 10 with bonuses or 10 with achievable add-ons. I would be okay with that, but nothing over 50 million for me. You don't want to go down a trap early doors when it comes to the new structure behind Manchester United. Ineos, Barada, Ashworth, Wilcox, whoever's, Brailsford, whoever's involved in these negotiations, you have to show, that you know what you're doing early doors. And if we pay 60 million for Branthwaite, it's the opposite that we will show. We will show, same old Manchester United overpaying for young players who haven't proven it yet. And of course we did it with Harry Maguire, was the best example. So Branthwaite to Manchester United may still be on, but Everton are going to have to lower their asking price. Now I don't think that a week from now, which is the deadline that Everton are looking at, we're going to get a deal over the line for Jarrad Branthwaite. Absolutely not. I don't think so. Because first and foremost, the deal is not completely off with Newcastle and Calvert-Lewin. There's still some rumblings there. And while getting personal terms agreed with Branthwaite is already done and dusted, the negotiations that you can get done over a week, are you going to go from 70 million down to 40 plus 10? I don't think a week would get you there. I really, really don't. So, look, Branthwaite to Manchester United, while I would like to see it, I don't think he is. I think there are better centre-backs out there available. I absolutely do. But when we're talking about a left-footed centre-back, he is a good player. He is a good player. He's not world-class, but there is room for improvement, but I don't think we're buying a world-class centre-back. I would even go as far as saying we're probably not even buying a potentially world-class centre-back. I think we'll end up buying a good, solid centre-back, but that's why I don't want to spend more than 40, 50 million on him. I think 70 million is absolutely, wibble. So that's Jarrad Branthwaite. Let's see what you guys have to think on that. Let's see. Not getting the Branthwaite love, to be honest. Just don't see it, says Oisín. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of people are in your corner there, Oisín. Look, I'm not disappointed if we get Branthwaite. A young up and coming defender that's trying to make his way in the game, that's hungry, that has potential. But it doesn't blow me away. It doesn't get me really excited, to be honest with you. But I mean, Did Martinez get me excited when we were going to sign him? No, it didn't. I just thought, okay, we're getting a good defender in. He was second choice to Jurrien Timber. So, yeah, I mean, let's see what happens. I will obviously keep an open mind and hope he does really well. Heard we activated the release clause for Xerxes. We'll talk about Xerxes in a few minutes, absolutely. Danny says, I'd like to see Branthwaite at Manchester United. He's a good player, but he's not worth the money Everton are asking for him. United should not spend about 50 million on him. No more overpaying. 50 mil is about 15 mil too much for him, says Oshin. Yeah, and look, I agree, but if we're talking installments or we're talking, we'll give you 35 now and we'll give you 5 a year over the next 3 years, then brilliant. I'm happy with that, no problem. Or, have add-ons that are achievable if we win things, or if he wins things with Manchester United. Dylan says, to be honest, you say we overpay. I don't think so. He's a good player, Prem proven, very young. Yeah, but very young is the problem, Dylan. That's what I mean. You say we overpay for Branthwaite. Yeah, we read that already. But I think, youth doesn't justify price. You have to have that balance of quality as well. And let's face it, he's been in a relegation battle this year. You know what I mean? You do have to take that into consideration as well. But yeah, appreciate it, guys. Everybody watching, 22 people watching and only 6 likes. Get the finger out your arse now and wipe it off and press that like button. Alright, let's get them likes up. Let's try to get up to 20 likes. Appreciate everybody who's tuned in. If you are new to the channel as well, guys, please do hit that subscribe button. We're less than 60 away from 10,000 subscribers, so I really do appreciate it if you can just hit that subscribe button. Helps us out an awful lot. And we are, we're 3 weeks away from the first pre-season game. Back doing watch-alongs. Can't wait. I may have some news over the next few weeks that might not be the best news in terms of the channel, in terms of our consistency of videos, but I'll update you on that as we go. There's nothing set in stone yet. I'll keep you in the loop. Anyway, moving it on to other centre-backs, I want to talk a little bit about the other centre-back that United are being linked with, and that centre-back is Leny Yoro. Now, obviously, this guy is, coming out of Lille, 18 years of age. I think he's a better player than Jarrad Branthwaite, and he's younger. However, and he's cheaper. However, there's a lot more competition for this guy, and I think the proof is in the pudding here when you're talking about having us, and pretty much us alone, in for Branthwaite, where you're talking Leny Yoro, and you've got Real Madrid, Man United, Liverpool, and PSG. Now, according to reports today coming out of Spain, Leny Yoro has now informed Manchester United, Lille, PSG, and Liverpool that he only wants to join Real Madrid. Now, we know that United are very interested in this guy. Now, Manchester United are willing to pay over the odds for this guy, okay? As it says here, Manchester United ready to outbid Real Madrid for defensive transfer target. And this is in relation to Yoro. Now, what it means here is that Real Madrid basically want Yoro either to wait 12 months, or they're only willing to pay, I think, is it 30 million? I can't remember the figures. There's so many figures we're being linked with. Let's say it's 30 million. I could be wrong. It's either 30 or 40 million. But let's say it's 30 million, okay? That's the max that they're willing to pay. I think it's a release clause, to be quite honest with you. It's around the 30 million mark. But Manchester United are willing to pay more. Not an awful lot more. I think maybe 7 or 8 million more to get the deal done and to jump the queue on Real Madrid. Real Madrid want him to wait a year. Stay where you are. Stay plying your trade with Lille. We'll come back for you in 12 months' time. Basically like what they done with Kylian Mbappe last year. They just said, listen, you stay where you are. Now, obviously, Kylian Mbappe went on a free. Next year, it would be a transfer fee. But as far as I'm aware, that transfer release clause would still be there. So Manchester United are willing to overpay for Yoro to get the deal done and jump the queue. I would be in favour of this, to be quite honest with you. I think this guy has a lot more potential than the likes of Brantwaite. Now, just because he wants Real Madrid doesn't mean that he's going to end up at Real Madrid, okay? We've seen a lot of players want a lot of destinations in the past, and it doesn't happen. And Real Madrid, if they don't get their way, if, they don't get a deal done for the price that they want, they'll walk away from it and they'll look elsewhere. So, when you go up against Real Madrid as a team like Manchester United, who's not even in the Champions League, okay, it's going to be a difficult negotiation. It's going to be a difficult negotiation. You've got Lille there as well, obviously. You got PSG that are in the Champions League, and you got Liverpool that are in the Champions League, all interested in this kid. Are we going to sign this guy? I don't think we are, to be quite honest with you. If I had a soundboard, I would go, wah, wah. I don't think we will. I think it's going to be very difficult when you're talking about the teams that are in for him, when you're talking about the price that you could potentially get him for, and when you're talking about Manchester United not being in the Champions League, and basically all the other teams that are in for him besides United are in the Champions League, it's going to be extremely difficult. So Lenny Yoro to United, while it could happen, I don't think it's a strong possibility, if I'm being 100% honest. I really, really don't. Let's see what people are saying. Sorry guys, I just need to drink another sup of water here. Now, let's see what you guys are saying here. Danny says, Lenny Yoro has made it crystal clear he wants to go to Real Madrid, so we should move on and look at other options. No point chasing a player that doesn't want to come. It's just wasting time. He's come out and said he wants Real Madrid, says Oshin. Looked at the Mbappe deal and thinking, let's let the contract down. Let's see. I want to just double check what his actual contract expiry date is. Lenny Yoro contract expiry. It expires, on the 30th of June, 2025. Yeah, so you're right. Has a 2-year contract, 2 years remaining on his contract, expiring on the 30th of June 2025. Yeah, so basically Real Madrid are doing with him. Sorry, I thought he had another year. I thought he had 2 years from now left on it. Turns out he only has one. So Real Madrid are doing what Real Madrid do. They're saying, look, either accept our 30 million for him now, or we'll just make him wait because he wants to sign for us. So yeah, I mean, that does kind of change the whole situation, really, doesn't it? Like I said, I didn't think it was going to be high chances of us signing him anyway. But yeah, that pretty much puts a nail in the coffin. Would you want to sign a player who has or whose heart is somewhere else? Well, look, I mean, like, there's always been, there are players that every single player at Manchester, well, the majority of players at Manchester United would love to be playing for Real Madrid. You know what I mean? They just would. So, well, saying your heart is somewhere else, I know what you're saying. But, you have to be a big boy as well. And if you don't get what you want, you can't throw your ties out of the pram. There's plenty of, like Ronaldo, for example, when he wanted to sign for Real Madrid from us. Ferguson said, give me one more year and you can go, and he did, and he played really well that season, and he was professional, and he done his job, and he got the move that he wanted. If Lenny Yoro to Real Madrid falls through, then that's tough shit on him. And if we're the ones that are paying the most for him, and he's happy with what we're going to be paying him week in, week out, then come, put your head down, work hard, fall in love with the club. It won't take long, trust me. It's easy to fall in love with Manchester United, and you'll be all right, Apparently he has a 78 million release clause according to One Football. 78 million. Well, maybe that is the case, and the fact that he's only got 1 year left on his contract, Lille don't want to lose him for nothing. So I mean, all of the balls are in Real Madrid's court, you would have to say. Yeah, so I mean, if Real Madrid are going, look, he wants to sign for us, you take the fucking 30 million off us now, or he'll just play for you for one more season. He's only 18 and we'll take him for free next year. So there's no... Real Madrid have got all the power in this one. If he wants Real Madrid and then ends up coming to us, I don't want him. I want someone who wants to play for us. Lads, can we all grow up a little bit here? Are you telling me that every player that signed for Manchester United, didn't have other options on the card? For God's sake, Roy Keane shook hands with Kenny Dalglish and said he would sign for Blackburn. You know what I mean? And then he decided that he would go to United instead. These things happen. If I can guarantee, talk about Xerxes, for example. Talk about any of the players that have been signed for Manchester United in the last few years. There has definitely been other, contracts or offers on the table, but they've decided to sign for United, whether that be for the money, whether that be because they like the club, whether that be because the deal with another club fell through. These things happen. Let's all put on our big boy pants, and if he signs for us, say, lovely, we've got a fucking unbelievable young player. Simple as that. You know what I mean? We read that one. Who needs a soundboard? Yeah, absolutely. Right, want to move it on and talk a little bit about, what are we talking about next? We're going to talk about strikers next, okay? Because obviously Manchester United are needing a second striker, okay? And there's been some fucking terrible rumours coming out over the weekend. None more so than, I thought it was 2017 all over again. None more so than Manchester United being linked with Alvaro Morata, okay? Now, thank God sources are coming out relatively quick today suggesting that Manchester United are not in talks to sign Alvaro Morata, okay? Praise the Lord. Because it was 2017, I think it was 2017 or 2018, and it was either we were in for both Lukaku and Alvaro Morata, and we decided on Lukaku in the end. Was it Morata was asking for too much, maybe? Something like that. And I know Mourinho was a big admirer of Lukaku at the time, So, look, thankfully we can put this one to rest. Alvaro Morata will not be signing for Manchester United. Thanks be to God. Other reports today are suggesting that Manchester United are planning Mason Greenwood plus cash offer for Victor Osimhen. Now, those of you who watch the channel an awful lot will understand what this means. Okay, this means pinch of salt, okay, when it comes to some of these reports that we talk about. We discuss them, it doesn't mean we believe them, okay? This report says Manchester United are not in the bet, blah, blah, blah. They're planning a summer clear out, so on and so forth. Up front, there we go. Mason Greenwood is earmarked as a departure with multiple Serie A and La Liga clubs chasing his signature. His sale could be on hold, or could hold the key to the Red Devils' planned approach for long-term target Victor Osimhen. Now, basically what this is that Victor Osimhen wants out of Napoli, okay? Season before last, they won the league, first time in 30-something years, and this season, they've been absolutely atrocious, okay? Absolutely. Their manager left at the start, he left last summer, and it's all just fallen apart. He is looking to get out of Napoli. Now, look, he's got 120 million release clause on his contract, okay? Arsenal, Chelsea are also interested, but they've seemed to move on to other targets, with obviously the price tag being there. As per La Repubblica via Spazio Napoli, United could use Greenwood plus cash to bring Osimhen to the theatre of dreams. Now, basically, Napoli are interested in Mason Greenwood, okay? We can come down here and have a look. If we come down here, this is in relation to Lazio. But look, as it says here, they're looking to pip rivals Juventus and Napoli to the transfer of the forward. We'll get back to that one in a moment. Where are we? We're here. So, we're talking about around 35 million. United want about 40 million pound. This 35 million is a bit off, I think. I think United are going to look for closer to 40 million. Now, we're talking about going out and offering Mason Greenwood plus probably, I don't think you would need to go all the way to 120 million euro. Now, 120 million euro, you're talking about, let's say 100 million pounds, okay? 105 million pounds probably. You're going to have to offer 60 million plus Mason Greenwood. Is that a bad deal? No, it isn't a bad deal. You're getting Victor Osimhen for net 60 million. Okay, now that would be cheaper than Rasmus Højlund came to the club, I think. So it's not a bad deal. However, is it something that I can see happening? No, it's not. Because we've spoken about this, and again, I'll say it again. I think Manchester United are more primed to go out and get a young... I'm going to say younger. What age is Osimhen? He's 25. So he does fit the bill. He does fit that age bracket that Ineos are looking to stay within. They say no signings over the age of 25. I don't think it's going to happen, though. He will be the death of Rasmus Højlund's Manchester United career if he comes. And I don't think United will splash the cash so heavily on a striker like Victor Osimhen, because you will end up throwing away the transfer fee that you ended up paying for Rasmus Højlund, because Victor Osimhen will have to start every game. He will have to. He's up there with one of the top strikers in the world. You would have to say. Now, he's not, is he Harry Kane standard? Is he, Erling Haaland standard? I don't think he's probably at that elite level, but he's 25 years of age and he's a damn good striker. I just don't think we'll go for him. Because I don't think it fits the template of what United and Erik ten Hag want. I think they want two young, hungry strikers to fight it out with each other for that number one spot. If Victor Osimhen came in, he would have to take that number one spot. He just would. And that would be to the detriment of Rasmus Højlund's career at Manchester United. That brings us nicely on to this guy, Joshua Zirkzee. Manchester United intend to activate the forwards release clause. Okay, now this has been rumbling on for about a week or so now, and Manchester United are in talks with the representatives of Zirkzee after revealing their intention to activate the Bologna's forward release clause. So basically how this works is, we go to the club, we go to Bologna and say, we're going to activate his release clause. We are 100% going to activate his release clause. We need permission to talk to him now. So basically what Bologna will do is, okay, perfect, go and talk to him, suss out what he wants. If he wants a 3-year deal, if he wants 100 grand a week, if he wants a signing on bonus of this and that and the other. And if that is all copacetic and happy days and peace out, man, and yep, brilliant, then United will go, brilliant, happy days, that's all sorted. Here you go, here's your, how much is it? £33.8 million, okay, 40 million euro. And everything is done quick, fast, okay? And that's the way to do it. So Manchester United are in advanced talks, supposedly, with this guy's representatives. Now, we know there is competition from AC Milan, and I don't think AC Milan are willing to pay the compensation, the agent fees, signing on bonus, something like that, where Manchester United are happy enough to do that, I think. Now, I think there are some negotiations going on at the moment. I don't think they want to go all the way up. I think their agent was looking for something like 20 million in add-on fees, which was fucking crazy when you're looking at only spending, 40 million euro on him. So I think that's being negotiated at the minute. I did see somewhere around 12 or 13 million in fees for, agents' fees and, signing on bonuses and so on and so forth. And that is going to be spread out over a period of time as well. So like I said, I think this is the more likely scenario that Manchester United are going to be going for. And to be honest with you, I'm getting more and more excited about this setup. Having someone like Zirkzee coming in alongside Rasmus Højlund, and the two of them absolutely trying to destroy each other for that number one spot up front. Now, this guy, Zirkzee, can play in the number 10 as well. He doesn't have to be an out-and-out number 9. He's well able to play in the 10. I think he's played on the left a few times as well, which will give us options, So I think it would be a shrewd signing, and it's signings we have to be looking at, because we can't afford to go out and spend 100 million on Victor Osimhen or 100 million on, João Neves. And it's just not feasible. So, look, I think this is a good move for United. I think it will set us up nicely to have two guys, really challenging forward up front. Now, we've said this before, and it's been an issue with United over the last decade. There hasn't been enough competition for each place. There just hasn't. Lads are going into the changing room every week. They're picking up a jersey and putting it on, knowing they're going to be starting. Now, I know they're probably getting, the team named the night before or whatever, but you know what I mean. This guy will provide real competition for Rasmus Højlund up front, and we need more of it in more positions throughout the pitch. We see, and Luke Shaw is a great example of it. There's been 2 or 3 occasions throughout Luke Shaw's Manchester United career when a left back has come in and played well. We had it with Jesus, what's his name? Obviously, we know Malacia did well for a spell when he first came in, and the other guy, someone tell me in the chat, his name eludes me at the moment. Please, quickly, because this will annoy me and I won't move on until I can figure out his name. Come on, someone tell me. Regulon, Regulon is one, but Regulon is not the one I'm on about. Tellez, there we go, bang. Got it in one. Gold star for you. We've seen it with Tellez. We've seen it with Regulon, who I actually forgot about. We've seen it with Malacia. Competition is key. And we need 2 players for every position. And potentially a third youth player to come in and back it up. Whereas let's say, for example, you had name me. I'm on a blank today. I've got a bit of a cold and I can't think. Let's talk centre back. So let's say you have Todibo, for example, as United's first choice right-footed centre back. You got Lenny Yoro as his backup, and then you've got Kambwala as the youth player there in case one of them gets injured to be the backup. That's what we should have. And we should have that for every position on the pitch. And I think if we can, it will make not only the squad better, but it will make competition absolutely blistering on the training ground, week in, week out, trying to fucking kill lads. I used to try and injure me teammates, but I used to go out and say, you're not getting the better of me tonight. You know what I mean? And that's the way it should be. Let's see. Just want to double check. Getting a couple of things coming in. The oldest goal scorer in Euros history, Luka Modric scores. I actually forgot to put it on, to be honest with you. But yeah, competition. Excuse me. Finally, guys, want to finish up on a... Sorry, let's go through some of your comments here. We missed a couple of the Victor Osimhen ones. Let's have a gander here and see. A giddy gander. Dylan says, One Football said earlier that United want Rabiot from Juventus. Would you take him? For the right money and the right contract length, I would. I've always said this about free contracts, free signings. Christian Eriksen was a prime example. I think he got did he get a 3-year deal or a 2 with the option of... No, I think he got a 3-year deal with the option of a 1-year extension. And we got him for free, and he was on relatively small wages. Now, is Rabiot going to want to come in and go on 120 grand a week? Probably not. He's probably going to want 200 grand a week. Now, look, Rabiot has been a very, very consistent player for Juventus, I have to say. There is a bit of baggage with him, with his mother being a nutcase, allegedly, and she is his agent. That he's fallen out with coaches, so on and so forth. Is he the type of player I would like to see come in? He wouldn't be my first choice. I would like to see us go out and get, a younger version of him. If we look at... let's look at his age. What age is he? I think he's... What is he? He's 29. 29 years of age. I don't want us to replace Casemiro with someone who's 2 years younger than him, 3 years younger than him. I just don't. I would rather us get someone who's 10 years younger, who might not be ready this season, but will be ready next season. So that would be my opinion on that one. Napoli will just say, give us the cash, keep Mason. Yeah, probably, to be honest with you, probably. But again, they're going to have to reinvest some of it as well. So if they can get Mason Greenwood on a cut down price, you never know. There is the ambers of a deal there, but you know what I mean. I don't see I don't see much happening with it. Danny says, Napoli are interested in Mason Greenwood, and according to reports, they are willing to accept Greenwood and cash for Victor Osimhen. Danny, do you want to come on the show? Give me a break, man. Here you go. Look, let me turn that microphone around to you there. You let us know what's going on, man. That's the shot by. Finn says, Osimhen and his wonky legs can wait where he is. Another Dylan says, okay, all the shit that happened with Greenwood isn't great. Yeah, but put that aside, he's a great footballer and would be excellent in that right wing spot. I think better than paying money for someone who isn't shit. Yeah, well, Dylan, we've spoken about this for the bones of a year now. Morals are more important than goals. Simple as that. You know what I mean? We all know what happened. Neverworld is in. Good to see you. Finn says, was Osimhen born wearing that mask? Well, I actually don't know, to be honest with you. He must be selling them on eBay or something. Are the two of them destroying the defence of the back? Absolutely, yeah. Jamie is in. Good to see you, Jamie. We're linked with that Hoffenheim striker as well. Can't spell his name. Let's see. Finn says, watched a few clips on Xerxes and he looks a real show-off type of player. Hope he's not another Anthony. Well, look, I mean, Ronaldo was a show-off player as well, and look how that turned out. So I absolutely get what you're saying, but it doesn't always turn out like Anthony. Xerxes is a perfect option for Man United, and it would be the best signing for Rasmus. He's everything United need. Let's hope we can get the deal done soon, and it will be a great start to the window. To be honest, we need competition. Look what happened to Shaw. He wasn't the best when Telles came. Yep, there we go. Absolutely. What else have we got here? Oshin says Rabiot's mother is a wagon to deal with. I wouldn't touch him. Finn says price tag weighs heavy on United players. About time we got some bargains in the door. Liverpools are smelling around Rabiot. Yeah, well, that could be their downfall as well. You wouldn't know. They've got a big summer ahead of them. Watch that, Mike. You're more than likely muted. We're good. Right, lads. I'm going to leave it there. Check out the merch if you haven't done so. As you can see, we're wearing the Garnacho, Viva Garnacho t-shirt. Link is in the description, or scan the QR code. Getting better at pointing in the wrong direction. Scan the QR code. Use the code UCC at checkout. Gives you 10% off as well. So go check that out as well, guys. As you know, it helps the channel out an awful lot. Make sure you're joining as a member as well. If you want to become an official member of the channel, I think when the new season kicks off, we're going to have a little bit of extra content for the members only section. I'm thinking of doing maybe a monthly quiz. I've still yet to figure out how to, keep scores and so on and so forth for all of the members. But I am going to try and figure something out. And I think it's a great idea, and we'll do a scoreboard, and then there'll be, a winner at the end of the year, or, at Christmas, and then another one at the end of the year. So I think it could be something good. So yeah, if you do want to become an official member, guys, link is in the description. Go check out the options. It supports the channel. You get some extra content. You get to come on live with us as well when we start doing our match reaction videos for the new season as well. So make sure you're checking all of that as well. And as well, guys, if any of the official channel members, if you do have any requests, now I of course won't do them all, but send them to me. Let me know if you think you've got a good idea of what might be some, good extra bonus content for you. Let me know, and I will certainly look into it for you, as always. But look, guys, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. As always, I'll be back tomorrow night, same time, same place. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening. Until tomorrow, I'll see you on the next one.